Hey kids, it's me, Benny. So this week on the 5th of May is called Cinco de Mayo, which is a holiday for Mexico. So our story time is going to be about things about Mexico. So that'll be fun, yay! So first what we're going to do is we're going to sing our song. We welcome you to story time, story time, story time. We welcome you to story time. We'll all have lots of fun. Okay, let's get to our first story.
Today, we are going to read Frida, written by Jonah Winter and illustrated by Anna Juan. Frida enters the world. For little Frida, the world is Mexico. Her house is a blue house. It is in the town of Coyoacán. Frida's father is an artist and a photographer. He teaches her how to use a paintbrush. Frida's mother takes care of 6 daughters. Often she is tired. Often Frida is lonely, even though she has sisters. Enter stage left, Frida's imaginary friend. Her name is also Frida. They play games. All of a sudden, Frida falls very ill. She's in bed for months. There's something wrong with one of her legs. Even her imaginary friends can't cheer her. That's when Frida teaches herself how to draw. Drawing saves her from being sad. After Frida gets well, she still wants to make art. So she paints little paintings. They are copies of other paintings. Painting onto photographs is what Frida's father does for a living. He teaches her how to do this too. Frida also paints things she sees through a microscope. She loves looking at things very closely. At school, Frida studies science. She is bored. School is too easy. One day, Frida is riding the bus home from school. A horrible accident happens. A trolley runs into the bus. Frida almost dies. In the hospital, it is painting that saves her once again. Painting is like her imaginary friend. It is there whenever she wants it. It keeps her company. It keeps her from giving up hope. After the accident, life will never be the same for Frida. She will walk with a cane when she is able to walk. Her body will hurt always. But Frida doesn't cry or complain. Instead of crying, she paints pictures of herself crying. When she can't leave her bed, she paints in bed. When her whole torso is put in a cast, she paints on the cast. Nothing can stop Frida from painting because she's so often alone, unable to leave her house. She has to use her imagination. She paints what she sees in her heart, on top of what she sees with her eyes. It's almost like painting on photographs. She paints little magical scenes with words at the bottom. All over Mexico, people paint these kinds of scenes. Sometimes they are scenes of accidents with angels coming to the rescue. They are like prayers for people who are sick. They are called esfotos. Frida paints esfotos of herself when she is sick or in pain. Frida imitates no one in her style. Her paintings are like nothing else. In museums, people still look at them and weep and sigh and smile. She turns her pain into something beautiful. It is like a miracle. Viva Frida! Long live Frida! The end.
All right, so one thing Frida liked to do is paint a lot of self-portraits. So what we're going to do is paint our own self-portraits by using a mirror. Go ahead and show everyone. We've got the mirror. And Lizzie made a self-portrait of herself when she had a bun-in. We use these paints. She used the paints, the paintbrush. She had this little separator for the paints. You can just use whatever paints you have. You remember at story time, we often use a muffin tin to separate our paints. And she has canvases, but I gave her one of the canvas boards like we use at story time. So you want to go ahead and show us your masterpiece? And that's our Lizzie. And she actually did a little artwork on her face. Show your artwork. Definitely ask Mom and Dad if you can do that before you do it. But isn't that beautiful? So I would love to see all of your self-portraits. So if you make one, please send me a picture.
What can you do with the Paleta? Written by Carmen Tafolla and illustrated by Magali Morales. Where the big velvet roses bloom, red and pink and fuchsia, where the accordion plays sassy and sweet, where the smell of crispy tacos or buttery tortillas or juicy fruta floats out of every window, and where the paleta wagon rings its tinkly bell and carries a treasure of icy paletas in every color of the sarape, that's my barrio. You can dance to the accordion, you can smell the tacos, but what can you do with the paleta? You can paint your tongue purple and green and scare your brother. Or maybe learn to make tough decisions, strawberry or coconut. You can make new friends. Give yourself a big blue mustache. Or create a masterpiece. You can use one to cool off, like Mama does. Theo once won a baseball game by offering one to the batter, right when the ball was being pitched. You can help the señora at the fruit stand make it through a long, hard day. But I think the very best thing to do with the paleta is to lick it and slurp it and sip it and munch it and gobble it all down. Where the big velvet roses bloom red and pink and fuchsia, where the accordion plays sassy and sweet, where the smell of crispy tacos or buttery tortillas or juicy fruta floats out of every window, and where the paleta wagon rings its tinkly bell and carries a treasure of icy paletas in every color of the sarape, that's my barrio. The end.
Okay, we're also going to do another craft later. We're going to make our own little popsicles, our paletas. But right now we're going to make some popsicle watercolor paints. So the first thing we did is I went ahead and already put water in the first four. We're going to put red, blue, yellow, and green because those are the ones that come with. And then Matthew's going to use these two to make us purple and orange. So go ahead and put about 10 drops of red in one. And
each of these?
Yeah, just in one.
Okay.
And then 10 drops of blue in another. We'll do 10 for each. It doesn't have to be perfect either. Okay. I didn't bring anything to mix these up, so since right here we have a screwdriver, I'm going to use that, but you might want to use a little spoon or something, like a normal person. I'm going to set this down for a sec. All right, and to make the orange, what colors are we going to use, Matthew?
Red and yellow.
So we're going to put them in one of these. We'll try 5 and 5 and see how it looks. And if it's no good, then we'll adjust it as we go. Just kind of swirl it around. What do you think?
I feel like I might need a little bit more yellow.
Yeah, do about 5 more. You did 3?
That's 5.
Oh, I didn't see them. What do you think?
This looks a little red.
Do about 5 more. So we'll have to see. It might not be perfect. Also, when we paint, it'll, it's hard to tell. See if when we splash it. See it, like, yeah, see it's orange if you look at it.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Okay, so pour that in one.
For this? Okay.
Yeah, just not the whole thing, obviously, just a little bit.
Into this?
Yeah. Don't overspill it. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix these up a little bit. And I'm wearing a black shirt, so I'm just wiping this on my shirt, which you really shouldn't do. All right, the other one we're going to make purple. So what colors are that? And purple.
Blue and red.
Blue and red. So we'll start with our 5 and 5 again, see how it goes. And if that doesn't work, we'll adjust like we did with the orange. I'll swirl it. It's something.
Looking better. I feel like this time might need more red, or maybe not.
Yeah, put
Just
more
a
red
little
in
more
it.
red.
It's like really gray.
Yeah.
Put at least 5 more.
Let's try that. We'll do 6.
Now it's too red. Put like 3 more per blue in.
3 more blue.
And remember, even if you don't get these perfectly done, the original colors, the red, blue, and yellow, will mix when you're doing your watercolor painting. So go ahead and put that on there. Try not to spill it into the others. Okay, maybe a tiny bit more.
Okay.
Okay. Now go ahead and take a piece of foil. It just has to cover that little bit, so it doesn't even have to be big.
What's the 7th stick for?
Because I am dumb and I counted wrong. Here. You can actually do it smaller and turn it the other way. Okay, it's fine. Go ahead and you make sure you rip it off, though.
Yeah, I know.
It's supposed to be in the box to do it, so it's hair straight. Here, put it in the box.
In the box, so
there's like a little ripper. So take it off the thing and tear it. You can tell by this we use a lot of plastic bags to put our leftovers in instead of foil. So Matthew's gonna go ahead and put that up nice and snug. And gonna get the little corn cob holder and put our little holes in, just the 6 ones.
for the sides.
So now this one we have to be really careful not to spill because we don't want the colors to slosh together. And this we can just leave alone like pretty much overnight. I might want to check it a few times to make sure the popsicle sticks are straight. Go ahead and put the sticks in the six. But we'll show you how to paint with them tomorrow. They're pretty cool. They look a lot like watercolor paints. This is a really fun activity to do it in the summer, like outside, or you could just make little ice cubes to put in your wading pool. That's kind of fun. And draw on, you know, the sides of the pool and stuff, because it washes off really easily as long as you don't put an excessive amount of food coloring in. So that's how it looks. Like I said, I'll check these a few times tonight, and they should be ready tomorrow. Okay, so we pulled out our Popsicle watercolors. Remember, these are just water and food coloring. Go ahead and take off the foil. And then go ahead and pull them out and maybe paint us a little rainbow or something.
Which color's what? I can't even tell. This seems to be orange. That's orange. Or yellow. I don't even know.
It's probably yellow. Now, I did put these in the microwave for 5 seconds to get them a little goopy so that they would paint better.
Ooh.
Look at that.
Turned like brown.
They must have mixed. Go ahead and try a different color. And you can draw anything you'd like. You don't have to draw a rainbow. You can draw smiley faces or whatever.
This is cool. This green.
That's a nice green. I think that might be purple. I think we just didn't mix the colors well enough.
Possibly.
So what else you got?
This one must be blue. Is this another green?
I don't know. I think some of them kind of got mixed up when I put them in.
It is blue. I can.
It's blue.
See, yeah.
It got mixed in now.
Yeah.
That's okay. Maybe just space them out more if you do them at home. Let's try like the red or the orange or. So what's going on here?
Well, this one seems to be the yellow, I think.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about yellow food coloring is it looks orange, but it's actually yellow. You might have to dip it a few times or let them melt a little further to get the good flow of it. We're using construction paper, but if you use something like, if you want to go and get, oh, that's pretty yellow.
Yeah.
So that other one was the orange. If you get watercolor paint, it'll soak it in more and it'll blend it better. And that's the blue. Ooh. So the first one must be red. I don't know. It's hard to tell, but it's really fun to paint with them. And if you only do the primary colors and spread them out, you can mix them and do all kinds of stuff. So that was fun, huh? Okay, guys, right now we're going to make our own paleta. I can't say it properly. I'm sorry, paleta. Our popsicles. And I thought it would be fun to use 2 different flavors. We had a bunch of these little hugs left over. So we have the red ones and the purple ones. So what we're going to do, Matthew's helping us out here. He is going to, do you think the red should be at the top or the purple should be at the top?
Doesn't really matter.
I guess we'll do red. Go ahead and open up the little hug. You can use a little corn cob thing there. All we need for this is some sort of juice or Kool-Aid or, like I said, little hugs, an ice cube tray, and some little popsicle sticks, which I have to grab. And then you can use like something like a little knife or scissors or a corn cob holder. And you could use plastic wrap, but I never get the plastic wrap to stay properly. So we're going to go ahead and use foil for it, aluminum foil. So Matthew, I want you to fill each of those about half up, maybe a little less, with the red stuff. And I'm going to go over here while you're doing that, and I'm going to look for my popsicle sticks, which I should have taken out already. Sorry about that. Now what we're going to need to do is in between, we're going to let these freeze for several hours, and then we'll take them out and then we'll put the purple on top to make 2 colors. If you want to just do the one flavor, one color, that's fine too. You would just fill them to the almost the top. And remember not to fill it to the tippy top because when liquids like with a lot of water in it freeze, they tend to expand. So it'll make it look bigger. So then we have, here we go. Show everyone those little popsicle sticks. Can you turn them around so they can see them? See, they're just like little ones. I actually got these when we did the craft and story time with the airplanes as the propellers. You can only get these, as far as I could see, from like a craft shop. So I got these at Joann's. Now, Matthew, what I want you to do is go ahead and take the foil. I'm going to actually, I ripped off a piece, so if you want that, we'll use that. Go ahead and put this on. Cover it tightly so it doesn't spill. And like I said, a lot of the places that you'll find on the internet will say, make it nice and tight across here. They'll say to, and then just scrunch it up really good. They'll say to use plastic wrap, which makes sense because then you can see what you're doing better. But like I said, I can't get the plastic wrap to stick right to the ice cube tray, so it always makes it loose. Now, Matthew, with the little corn cob holder, which is under here, we're going to make little holes, like slits this way. You're going to have to look at down here and find about the middle of each thing. Just a tiny little thing. Yeah, that should be good. Just so it's easier to put the sticks in. And if you want, we can just do a few and then we'll do the rest off camera so that we're not taking up everyone's time so much. So you want to just do that half?
You can speed it up, Mom.
Oh, you're going to speed it up? Okay. And be very careful because we don't want the liquid to spill. And you don't want too much of a hole in it because the foil needs to stay firm to hold the sticks up. Okay, so now try to stick a stick inside each of them. You want to make sure these are clean sticks. These haven't been used by anyone, and Matthew's touching them because it's going to be our family that eats them. And see how they stand up nice and tall? And that's what we want. Now when we just hold it tight, yeah, because you don't want it to, they might be a little bent down. I can check them during the freezing process, like every half hour or so, and try to straighten them up a bit. But once these are frozen, we're going to go ahead and add the purple to the top and make a 2-flavored one. And like I said, you can use just one flavor if you want. You won't need the foil for the second flavor. You'll just rip it off of here because the second flavor will go on top of sticks that are already frozen, so it won't be a big deal. So Matthew's going to finish that up. And once he's done, we're going to take it to our big freezer downstairs. And you guys don't need to see our basement, so we'll just do that on our own. And I'll show you what it looks like when we start to put the second flavor in. Okay, so these have been in the freezer for, I don't know, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. We're going to go ahead and take off the foil. Let's see. You see they're basically frozen. There's a little bit of liquid. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and pour on our second flavor. Just fill her up. And then we'll put it back in the freezer. And again, we won't need the foil this time because our little popsicle sticks are already holding them up. So we'll put these back in. I'm going to let these go the rest of the night and we'll see how they go tomorrow. Okay, so Matthew now is going to try our paletas. If you remember, we poured 2 different color little hugs in. We let the red freeze and then put the purple on top. I think they're going to be a little mixed together because I didn't refrigerate the little hugs beforehand, so the purple that I put on top might have melted into some of the red. But go ahead and show them what some of them look like. See, you can see the red at the top and it All right, go ahead and try it, Matthew. See how it is.
Oh, that's real good. It's really good.
So there, you can make these all summer long. Okay, kids. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed the stories. Really love Frida. She's an awesome artist, and I love making popsicles, paletas, and I love painting with paletas. That was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed it too. Remember to send any pictures or videos to us through Facebook. See you next week. Bye.